And fall in, my fellow scout troopers, and welcome to Napoleon Total War 3 4v3 battle replay today at the map 1799 Mount Thabur. First replay comes from Richard the Lionheart, who's one of 3 defenders. His ally is Cyber Smith Huck and Johnny LaBuffin. Their attackers today, or opponents, are Saeed, Mosley, Flux, and Don. Now, let's have a look here at the map today. This is going to be a battle, obviously, to the death. It's full of massive hills. So artillery is going to be a bit tricky. Obviously, if they fight down here, artillery is going to be no problem for either side. However, since we do have a defending force, and the onus is on the attackers to move forward towards them, the higher ground is perfectly suited for defense. And we'll make some nice sniper nests for the artillery. You can see you've got some 8-pounders already set up here. Just a team of 2 cannons there so far. Just seems like all the French forces are sort of gathering at the base of the foothills here. I suppose where I was going with that. Now, it's an all-French alliance here. We have here, I think, Bonaparte, Alexandria. And are they all Alexandria Bonaparte? Yes, they are. Okay, well, they're all the same faction, so that makes life a bit easier and confusing at the same time. On the map, I'll just go through the points here. We have 3 2-pointers and 1 4-pointer, so there is 10 points on the field today. But I think lock is out of the question when you have a 4v3. The attackers have to come at you, and it's just what they should do in a situation like this. We have here Osmali. It's all Osmali here, so it's France versus Osmali, or the Ottoman Empire. So before we get started and we wait for the Ottomans to make their way towards the French, if you want to see your own Total War replay featured here on this channel, guys, from any Total War game, including their mods as well, don't forget to check out the links you'll find in every video description below, which can contain my email at scoutsoфentertainment@gmail.com, my Discord ID. You can join my Discord server, Scouts Reconnaissance, as well, and post your replay there, or simply tag me in this case for every Napoleon Total War 3 replay you post. Or in this case, in the replay you post on the Napoleon Total War 3 Discord as well. I check it out from time to time anyway. And with that, let's actually do a cut here and come back once the battle is about to begin. Alright everyone, we're back just to survey how things are unfolding. Osmali is moving up, all 4 armies. They're heading for the one place that was actually open in this little French perimeter along the whole boundary line. This was the one big gap that Osmali could get through, and they're heading for it right now. Now, this player, I don't know if he was AFK or had to stay put for a certain period of time, but he started moving, thank God. And he's moving to close that gap, but he's going to run straight smack into some Osmali forces. And he has to fight his way through in order to get back to his teammates. Now, the Osmali alliance, their plan could simply be to sandwich this force, like 2v1 from either side, and hope they can crush him. Which means his French allies might need to send aid to break through this perimeter and reconnect with him and help him fight his way out of this, and potentially shrink their perimeter so it's easier to defend. They can fall back to over here. This is where the high ground obviously is, on this side. So this would be a good spot for artillery to shoot down, or when the enemy approaches. The French forces are being tailed now by Osmali cavalry. Now, looks like 2 aren't squarables. Oh no, 2 out of 3 are squarables. Osmali could be going in. Looks like the French artillery here trying to provide some cover. They're going in. And it's actually on fast forward. There you go. We got stakes here. He's trying to avoid him. We got French cab. Oh no. French cab peeled off. Well, French have their guns up, they're ready. So the Osmali went right into the stakes. More cabs coming in. French cab trying to get out of there. Okay, French infantry Made him stop. A very precarious position this player is in. This choke point is easy for the French to defend. It could help him move forward the rest of his line here towards the Ottomans. He's got here 3 4-pounder cannons there. Good hit. A little bit far away there. Just missed. It's always the way, isn't it? Always just missing. Okay, things have certainly heated up over here. The French left flank is under heavy fire, but these are skirmishers. It's a bit of an ask for 48 skirmishers to hold back, what, 1,000 troops? Even if they are holding on the high ground. Yeah, seen quite a few Ottomans drop there, but they got reserves ready to replenish their ranks if they falter. Now, the French don't have the same numbers the Ottomans do. He's really asking a lot of his skirmishers, I have to admit. These guys here, they're just protecting that choke point. Just make sure they don't get outflanked. Trying to keep an eye on the movements of the Ottomans across the entire battle line. Or foothills. This French, he doesn't seem to know who to fight. He doesn't want to move forward. He's probably thinking, if I move forward in this direction here, that might prompt the Ottomans over here to move in behind me. However, if I move towards against them over here, they'll bring up the Ottomans over here towards me. So either way, whatever direction he goes, it seems like he's afraid the Ottomans will just begin sandwiching. But if he just stays put, one of the Ottoman players will just come to him and it'll fight them, and the other Ottoman player will just face off against the other guy and leave his rear alone. It just feels odd that the Ottomans aren't pressing this guy together, like they're not trying to attack him from two sides. They want to face off against a player that's, well, dug in pretty tight. It's not going to be so easily wrestled from this position. Moving in reinforcements to hold this part of the map. The French were very slow actually to get the troops where they were needed. But then again, they had to keep troops all along the line here to see what direction the Ottomans were going to come at them. Now, Ottomans are really good shooters here, but then again, so are the French. The French have better morale. So the Ottomans are thinning out faster than the French, which is obviously great news for them. Don't look like these guys here have lost any troops. Wow, okay, we missed a good charge there. We'll actually come back and watch this, I reckon. Alright guys, we're back. Here comes the charge. There's my cav trying to reinforce the line. Mid-tier dragoons. Fighting like 5 Osmali infantry and cavalry. It's all melee combat here. Jeez, give this French unit a gold medal or something. That unit broke, they tried to charge him. Dangerous move for Osmani to fight here. But not a bad win there for the French. Meanwhile, they're still just shelling the area right now. We have some Federates up against 4 units down below. One unit here holding out against 4. Alright, he's peeled off one. How close do they want to get? Alright, forming up. Okay. He's really outgunned down there. We've got some Sapeurs moving up. They tend to have decent accuracy. Okay, skirmishes are broken. Osmani isn't trying to push up the hill here. Not yet. This begs the question, what are they waiting for? They're down about 30 or 40% strength, most of these units here along the line. This area is about to be hit. This other unit is about to break. They got one more unit there moving to plug that gap once that unit does fold. Okay, Osmani here is joining with the other player. Potentially is finally going to sandwich this guy and crush him before they move up to try and harass the other two and wrestle them from the top of the mountain. They're firing canister, but they must just be out of range or at the edge of their range. Light cab moving in. Troop's got a volley off, but most of the cab got into the fight. But these troops aren't breaking as the other ones did. Okay, French cab's broken. Okay, that was a little bit better. Not great, but a little bit. France is being overwhelmed. Yeah, this is what I thought Osmani should have done earlier. It's all coming down now to this. Got a massive weight bearing down here on this player. French forces trying to fight them off. He could cause a chain rout. Okay, one unit's faulted. This France's got to try and kill as many as he can. The general could die. Oh, the general broke. He's got caught here on his own troops. It might give him time to reform. Here has taken a huge chunk, nice good sized bite out of that Osmanli left flank. What have we got here? Mass pitchfork charge. Okay, the other player's coming there around now. He's almost at his rear. France is trying to collapse his perimeter so he can allocate units to his rear to fight off the incoming Osmanli player. His teammates should be sending down some reinforcements. Unfortunately, they kind of left him high and dry here. Other points in the line look firmly in French's control, at least for now. Okay, France has freed up 2 more units here he can allocate to the rear battle. You got one Osmanli player moving in while the other one's moving away. It's just taking forever for these guys just to fire a shot. And their own cab is getting in the way. They're thinking they can win that. They're thinking they can win a melee charge. Okay, they broke 1 unit. The artillery is still firing. That's impressive. Came mighty close to breaking that unit, just not enough. It's been unfortunate for the cab that ran in front of the unit there that got shot. There was obviously some sort of miscommunication between the 2 Osmanli players because they were enacting a nice pincer move, but then this player over here moved away at the same time this one was moving in. That freed up resources for the French to allocate more units to fight off the unit that was incoming, and not worry about the unit, not worry about the player that was outgoing, that was taking his forces away from his rear. Now Osmali will probably still win this, but they've sustained heavy casualties, and they would have saved a lot of troopers had they continued that push that those two players were coordinating with each other before. Okay, Osmali's almost summited the hill over here. This was definitely a hard-fought battle. But where is this French player going? You see, if I was holding these 5 French units, I would just place them here and shoot at the Osmali forces as they come up the hill. The Osmali would take significant losses and might potentially destroy their army. I'm not too sure why France is letting them up when they have the ability to hold their ground and just maybe potentially push the Osmalis back down the hill. Neither side has a good firing position. Okay, the bullets must clear the crest. We got enemy cav coming around the rear there. Looks like it's just been hidden on. There it is. Not too sure where they're off to. We've got French troops heading one direction, other French troops heading another. He's got to keep his army together, not break them apart. We've got 27 minutes left on the clock here. Now, if you're this guy, if you're this French player, what would you do? Would you send down your army to try and save your ally? It's way too late now. The ultimate crossfire right here. Who do you shoot at when you're being fired at from every angle? They're trying to get as far away as they can. They're still alive. Just really looked like France was in control over here. Things seem to have fallen apart. Friends hanging on there. Okay, the last two French players, they're gonna collapse upon each other and just stand back to back as they hold off against the Osmali tide. Where are these guys off to? Okay, they're gonna try and deal with this French unit. Alright, we've got another battle forming here. This is where the great cav charge took place earlier. Obviously, artillery is trying to break them. Having little success for the moment. What can he do to overpower these guys? He needs to move those French units forward a little bit. Just so more of the rifles can shoot downhill. I just feel like the terrain's working against both teams there. Okay, these are 4 skirmish units here of Osmali. See, we have 1.5 units fighting off against 4 or 3 Osmali units. So the battle has been raging on for a little while. France is still holding this position. They're forming up and getting ready for battle on this side as Osmanli approaches. We have 20 minutes and 51 seconds left on the clock. More Osmanli troops are pouring up. Osmanli is just focusing on one section of the French line here. We've got more troops coming in right now. It kind of looks like this player fears that there's hidden French troops maybe in the town or whatnot, because his line is far superior. He has more troops. He can move those troops up the hill, curve them around, get more guns firing on those 4 French units, trying to break them, trying to bring them down faster. But he's not moving forward just yet. He's probably waiting for his ally to move up and engage those French forces on his left to make sure they don't outflank him and attack him in the rear. Also moving up might cause some issues from the artillery, but the hills here should offer some protection for these forces should they decide to move up. And then pivot and turn this direction and fire on these troops here. This hill should be able to deflect most cannonballs fired in their direction. Can't do anything about the forces over here, they're exposed to the artillery no matter what. France though looks confident he can hold out against that superior force. I think they can spare some of those troops in town to come over here. Who are they shooting at? Oh, these guys here, they're shooting at those forces coming up. And these guys here, they're the ones shooting across. There's been a few good artillery strikes. Alright, here they come. The center's on the move. France is, seems to be taking sort of a minimalistic approach. They have a lot of faith in their units to hold back this massive force of Ottomans as they move up the hill. You can see here from the Ottomans' movements, they're trying to use this hill as cover from that artillery. Ottomans though, down here, they're taking a beating. The battle's about to get underway over here though. You see, it would be a good opportunity for these 3 units actually to break out, charge these 3 units here, set up a firing line from this bush to this tree and over here, and shoot at the Ottomans as they come at them. Assuming there's no enemy troops coming up this hill, which is highly unlikely. France could have, it'd be easier for France to defend this area if they move all these 3 units into position to repel these 3. Little squad of Sapeurs patrolling the hillside there. More troops coming up. One of the mistakes the Ottoman players seem to be making is they're setting up units not in one unison line, but in mismatched parts. Like here, obviously like this. They send up one unit that's being shot to death. It's going to break before the rest of the units really arrive and set up. And that's going to screw up their whole line. They have to reform once that unit breaks all over again. That gives the France more time to shoot the Ottoman forces. Potentially break them, cause a mass chain rout, and then it's done for the Ottomans. Yeah, see, this cannon can get a nice shot in those troops there if they wanted to. Okay, cancer shot dealt with them. Alright, now it's time for France to go on the offensive. These four need to push forward here, move up this direction, outflank these units, and destroy this army. Maybe send these two. Send those three to do that job. Send these two to cover the flank, or the right flank of this one here, as they move up this way. It really feels like the Ottomans are giving the French an opening and the French just aren't taking it. Doing these skirmishes up through the lines is a bit interesting. So France fell back into the town here. French troops are falling, but Ottomans are falling faster. It's a real brawl down there, isn't it? This massive unit needs to go on the offensive. It needs to push forward. I know potentially it opens itself up to be outflanked, but they've got a scrabble unit there moving up on its right, so his right flank now is secure. It should be able to move up. The tide has swung France's way and he's got to take advantage of that. French Cav doing the Lord's work. This unit's formed pike. Still wasn't enough to repel the French cavalry. Okay, Ottomans are falling back. Not really sure why they're falling back. We've got 11 minutes left on the clock here. Okay, here come the Ottomans. They snuck a unit behind and they're going to take out the artillery.
Our men are running.
No doubt the player wishes he could have done that a lot sooner. He was conflicted. He could have charged straight into the artillery crew. So close. Oh, he did it. Just did it. And here come the Ottomans once again. With 11 minutes to go, you'd think we'd see more impatience on the Ottoman side. You'd like to be a bit more aggressive in their approach. Here you go. Louis Victorian. That's annoying. They form up, they're ready to shoot, and then they pull back. Hang on, we've got 2 other units here that have come back to the battle. We've got a large Ottoman unit there. There's no points down this direction. You know, maybe they're pursuing those French forces? Kind of just speculating. Not getting any kills. Not at that range.
We've taken a building, sir.
He keeps moving up and he keeps falling back. Eventually he's going to have to make the call to send them into battle. This unit here is going to cover the city. It's going to turn on the fire at will, maybe. Now they're firing.
The men are fatigued, sir, and must rest awhile.
This unit's facing up against 4 up here. We've got a French unit that could be really needed, but it's not doing anything right now. Come on, 7 minutes to go. I don't know, it feels like one player's taking a nap or something, I don't know. Come on, get that unit moving. Feels like a massive piece just not being used at all. Oh, we got the arty up again.
Our men are running, sir.
Cavalry's on the move. Alright, they broke a bunch. The French unit up here held against Ottoman cav and 4 Ottoman units. He's got to be proud of that. Looks like these guys are scrambling to get inside this building here. This unit's got to reform. No, no, you got to reform. You got to turn around and shoot. There you go. Are they going in, or are they going to shoot, or no? Who knows? That unit up top still hasn't moved a muscle. Looks like France held the town. So the Ottomans are going for one last push inside the town. France has their number. The Ottomans aren't getting through this. We're trying to charge that unit again. France is moving down off the hill. That is good to see. Two minutes left. At this range, it's hard to say how long it'll last. There's no flag above that unit. I think that's the Ottoman general there. Suffice it to say, France has held the hill.
We have killed their general, sir. Now they must break.
There's Mosley's general up there. So there was decent use of the artillery there from the French and the high ground. They won those key battles there when the Ottomans really pushed them. And you know, you got to give credit for the French player down below for lasting as long as he did. He was caught between a rock and a hard place, and he fought well. He probably would have survived too if his ally came down off the hill to attack the other Ottoman Empire that was cutting off his retreat to safety. But maybe that French player told his ally to hold his ground and not worry about it. Maybe that was his plan, to try and kill as many Ottomans as he could, to help out his allies later in the final battles. And that's it, we're finished here. So I think that's victory there for France over the Ottoman Empire. Sniper Smitak there, 1151. Richard the Lionheart, 1575. Johnny the Buffin, 1608. Said, 909. Mosley, 678. Flux, 659. And Don, 622. Alright, kill counts here, range from 375, with 4 other units getting over 100 kills, the rest ranging from 91 all the way down to 0. Artillery gained 91, so the artillery did really well there, and 100 for the 8-pounder as well, so yeah, across the board there, artillery did very well. So that was a great use there of the high ground from the French. There was a few moments there in the battle where if the Ottomans had pushed up the hill in those points where the French had left the gaps open, and they use the terrain to shield their units from the enemy artillery and move up the hill, then they might be able to begin breaking their lines and allow the Ottomans to move forward into the town much sooner, rather than being repelled as we saw earlier on. But still, great battle from all players. Thank you to Rich for sending me the replay. If you want to see your own Total War replay featured here on this channel, guys, don't forget to check out those links you'll find in the video description below. Hope to hear from you soon. This is Micka from Scoutsman Entertainment signing off. Goodbye, my fellow Scout Troopers. Catch you all in the next Total War battle.